Metaprompting is a prompt engineering method that uses large language models, short LLMs, to create and refine your prompts. Unlike the traditional prompt engineering approach where you write a prompt from scratch and hope for the best, metaprompting guides the large language model to adapt and adjust your prompt dynamically, which is really important, based on your feedback, allowing it to handle more complex tasks and evolving contexts. And in this video, you can see a metaprompting agent where we have as an input a chat node, so to speak, so you give it a message of what you want to achieve. The agent is relatively simple. As you can see, we have an agent sitting here right in the middle. On the left-hand side, we have the input, and the actual output will then be a prompt that we can use to further develop or build our social media marketing agent or anything that we want. And we have hooked up a chat model that can be GPT-4o, could be GPT-5, whatever you actually want it to be. We have a simple memory node with a context window length of 200. We have the capability to do some web search if needed, if we specifically give it the instruction to search the World Wide Web for information. And we have a deep think node. What the deep think node does is it actually checks the output from the GPT model and not takes it as given, but it will actually think more deeply and reasons why, for example, the answer is maybe good or bad, and even adds more context to it. So for example, if we open a deep think node, you can see, use this tool to perform internal reasoning without retrieving a new data or modifying the database. The purpose is to capture structured thoughts, evaluations, or insights that help guide the next step. Use it when deeper analysis is needed, context linking or decision making before continuing the conversation, and then the output should be a concise, self-contained note that explains the reasoning or identifies gaps, not an action for the user, so us in this case. I've just refreshed the tab, so we basically start from scratch. So what we can do is we could give it an initial message, for example, hi, and it would then tell us, hey there, I'm your prompt generation engine. How can I assist you in creating an AI agent prompt today? So we basically tell it, I need some help for further prompting. So let's see what it comes up with, right? This is, you can type in literally anything you want. It would use the GPT-5 node in order to help me basically go further. I'd be happy to help. Let's start by defining the role of your agent. So what is the functional archetype of your AI agent? Is it a customer support agent? Is it a content writing agent? Is it a virtual assistant? So we say it's a content writing agent. And then we say operational boundaries, no boundaries, just be professional. And I'm just typing whatever I want here, right? Because you could be way more specific when you use it and download the workflow, which I, by the way, link in the description, so you can download the JSON file absolutely for free. And then number 3, what specific knowledge domains does it need to operate effectively? We just say use default values. And how should it communicate? Formal, informal, casual, friendly, or professional? Professional and educational. Anything else it asks us? Not really. And then we can start building from there. So we use GPT-5 right now, and the agent will think for a bit. And let's break down what we've provided. We have a role definition. And then before we move on to the next section, would you like to refine it? No refining. Please proceed as is and use default values for subsequent tasks. Let's just do it like that, and let's see what it comes up with. And then we wait for a bit. We have a contextual framework, so the operational context is given. We have triggering preconditions, so the agent is activated when a content writing task is initiated. We have post-execution handling. We have environmental constants, which is crazy, but nobody thinks about it usually. But this agent really gives you much more breadth, but also depth of how the agent is going to be built as an output, which will be a markdown file. Is there anything specific you'd like to add? Not really. Please proceed. So we just see what it does right now. So we have a business product context. The agent aims to deliver high quality professional educational content. So we have a target audience. It even says right here, if it aligns with what you had in mind, we can move on to the next section. No changes needed. Please proceed. I'm just saying this right here to make the video not too long, right? We can now go really in depth and make this video 20-30 minutes long. And as you can see, it asked me about available tools. So language processing tools. We have a research database. We have formatting and style guide. So I just say again, proceed and jump to the end. I want the prompt now. And the thing is, if you actually tokenize this now, basically capitalized and non-capitalized, the now in capital letters actually is a different word than now in smaller text, so it actually has a different effect on the prompt. And basically what you can see right here is AI agent prompt specification. So we have a content writing agent, we have a scope, we have a knowledge base, we have a communication. And by the way, this knowledge base can be a prompt for an agent that looks like this, and we actually pull from a database. Could be Superbase, could be Google Doc, could be a spreadsheet, could be Pinecone, whatever you want. It really depends on the task, but in general, you have to think if it's going to be a RAG system or kind of a knowledge graph, for example. But this really depends on the task. You have a specific context. You have everything that you need, and then it says at the end, this complete prompt should guide your AI agent effectively. If you have future adjustments or additional features required, feel free to reach out. So what have we actually gained now? The thing is that this agent is much better than, for example, a custom GPT, or like the standard GPT, I should say, because it actually asks you the questions to guide you to a prompt that saves you a lot of prompts in between. So instead of, let's say, prompting for 100 times, you would actually, with this agent, prompt, for example, 50 times, just giving you an example, right? Which saves you time. So actually the actions per minute that you use are going up, which means you are much more effective when basically defining or creating agents. You can also check out the meta prompt itself when you download the JSON file, so you can check it all out by yourself. You can adapt the GPT model, you can adapt the memory context window, you can even remove or keep the web search functionality, maybe even prompt it to use some web search functionalities, and you can even adapt the deep think node. My recommendation is use the meta prompt agent as is, as basically as I've given it to you. What I would basically do, my recommendation is to take this prompt, the markdown prompt right here, put it into your agent that you actually want to use then, I'm not meaning the meta prompt, but then the actual new agent that, for example, sits in a workflow and builds you, for example, a content writing agent. And then if, for example, you need to iterate, you just iterate in that second agent. You don't have to refine the prompt right here. You could theoretically, because it has a lot more context, which brings us to the topic of context engineering, but you don't have to, right? So it basically asks you, even if additional features are required, feel free to reach out. So you can even adapt the prompt right here or in your second agent if you want to, right? That's it so far. If you have any questions, any further wishes for future videos, let me know in the comments. And again, every relevant resource will be found in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.